Our tastes in film may seem destructive, but this is a productive dialogue. Damn it, your mother ate my dog.
The podcast.
Boom.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Episode 48.
Mm-hmm.
48 of the podcast. We've been doing this for 48 weeks.
48 whole years.
We've actually been doing pretty well weekly.
Oh, yeah?
I don't remember the last time we had to skip a week.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. Yeah, we've been staying on it.
Yeah, staying on it. Probably the last time we skipped a week was Christmas time.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Episode 48. Great movie this week, which we'll get to in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Idle Hands, a movie I've never heard of before. I had never heard of before. Obviously, I've heard of it now after watching it.
Yes.
I was watching TV
Okay.
recently, last night,
Mm-hmm.
and I came across Australian Survivor.
Okay.
Do you ever watch Survivor?
Yes, I've watched the first, 8 or 9 seasons.
There's only 7 seasons of Australian Survivor.
Okay.
Anyways, it's all on YouTube. You can watch it for free on YouTube.
Oh.
It's Australian Survivor, but this year they're in Samoa.
Oh,
I
hey.
thought of you. So I don't know if you wanted to watch Australian Survivor in Samoa. You can kind of see what the outback is like in Samoa.
That would be good to know. I could get some intel. Maybe one of the challenges is go to a record store, so I can finally find a record store in Samoa.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know how big Samoa is. They probably just have their own like beach or something.
Yeah. They don't usually like wander into the city.
Have you watched any good television recently?
Started watching House of the Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And how's that?
Got 3 episodes in yesterday. I mean, it's pretty good.
I do notice that you tend to watch a lot at once. Binge,
Yes.
if you will. Binge
Yes.
and purge, if you will.
Binge and purge. That's a good one. Yeah, that does tend to be the way I watch things. Or if it's, such as The Last of Us, where I really have no choice but to watch it every week.
Well, I have heard of people who are ignoring it until it's done, and then they'll watch it all, which seems like a risk.
Well, I've certainly done that with House of the Dragon, because I feel like that was over and done with ages ago.
Yeah, probably like 3 or 4 months, I'd say.
Yeah. And I didn't get any spoilers.
I am doing that right now with Deal or No Deal. We just started season 1 on the weekend, and we just watched episode 3 with dinner.
That's an interesting concept, watching in a full season of a game show. Huh.
Howie Mandel, I don't know if you watched Deal or No Deal when it came out in 2004, but Howie loves to get everybody's hopes up, like, oh, we're gonna see what's in the case, but then he switches to after the break.
Ah, yes, the cliffhanger.
But it's on Prime, and there is no break.
There is no break. Yeah, I can't imagine. It takes away all the suspense.
After 3 episodes, the most somebody has won is, I think, a little over $200,000. But that wasn't from their own case. That was from taking the deal.
Oh, snap.
I'll let you know if that changes.
Yeah, we got to have a Deal or No Deal segment of the week.
We got to maybe play a whole Deal or No Deal game on here somehow.
That would be fun.
Visually, I don't know how that would work, but...
No, me neither. We'd find a way.
Yeah. I'm doing this podcast, no notes for the first time, episode 48, no notes. And it's really bringing the energy down, I think.
You think so?
I think me having notes kind of carries it.
Oh, that's all we need is just the notes. And I mean, this podcast is nothing without them.
Like a preparation. being prepared and stuff. People really love being prepared.
If you're going to put a letter on this preparation, would it be like a J, a K, or perhaps an H?
That's interesting. Valentine's Day was recently. You have
Oh,
a
yes.
nice Valentine's Day?
We didn't celebrate it in any way, shape, or form. The only thing we did was in the morning said Happy Valentine's Day, and that was the extent of it.
Do you know what I did for my Valentine's Day?
Of course I do. I was there.
I listened to the new episode of Your Mother and My Dog, the podcast, episode 47, which we talked about Do the Right Thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, I can't remember, do you give a code word for that one? Was it like mashed potatoes or something like that?
I very well may have. I'll be honest, I don't remember. No one came up to me and said it, so let's put it that way.
It was an episode that that will go down in history as one of our rare listens because nobody really listened to it. Just sad because I started that episode being like, this is gonna be one of the best episodes we've ever done, but it wasn't, I guess.
Well, I mean, are we doing it for all the listens, or are we doing it really just to kind of hang out and do something kind of fun? I think it's fun. I look forward to the podcast every week.
Yeah, when you put it that way, I guess. Why am I complaining?
Yeah.
Do you know what I look forward to every week?
The follower of the week.
No, hearing about what kind of places you're listening to your record player in.
Oh, well, I've got a good update for you this week. I haven't listened to my record player anywhere since the 2 episodes that I've put out.
That's a pretty good update. I mean, we're not gonna get a lot of snow tonight, but it'd be pretty cool to maybe build yourself an igloo and
right,
listen to it in an igloo. But I guess save that one for next year.
Next year, yeah, the big snowfall of next year. That's when I'll do it. Or I could just go, up north. Be a little easier, probably.
Like North Van.
Yeah, North Van or Duncan or Mill Bay, something like that. Just way up there.
Something I wanted to do on my so I walk a lot for my job, and so sometimes I think about things for the podcast. And one thing I thought about today was doing some local news updates.
Yeah,
but I don't think really that would be good for our listeners who are apparently mostly American. But they could be listening to it on a VPN.
It could
perhaps
be
an American VPN just to get their American Netflix. So
it's very possible.
Those numbers are skewed. Let us know if you're listening on a VPN.
How will they let us know?
In the comments below.
Just
in the comments below, I guess.
The comments below on what format? Instagram?
Exactly. Whichever format you can think of. We have Instagram. We do have a Facebook.
We do?
We do have a TikTok, which I'm kind of letting go of, and kind of a YouTube. There's a few episodes on YouTube there.
We have a TikTok that I feel like every video that you put on there gets like 600 views or something.
Well, it's all about the hashtags.
Yeah, that's plenty of views. We had that one that had like 1,900. Sure.
You mean yours?
Yeah, that one. I didn't want to say, but yeah, that was mine.
A little subtle brag. Another subtle. No, that doesn't work. Do you have anything that you would like to talk about before we get into our movie podcast of the week?
We need to go onto our TikTok and do the trend where we walk into a random person, we say, name 3 movies that start with the letter J. Go. And then, they name 3 and they win a hoodie. That'll be our next thing.
Like a used hoodie?
Yeah, I'll go to a thrift store and find the first hoodie I find. I'll find it. I'll find what I find. And then I'll make it's like a punishment. It's like if they get it right, they win a sweater they didn't want.
So you're saying that a sweater they didn't want is a bad thing?
Yes.
If I had to pick an article of clothing for the pod or for the movie podcast of the week,
hmm
Idle Hands,
hmm
I guess I would pick a used hoodie that nobody would want.
Like, I feel like that is the vibe of this movie. Used hoodie you don't want, right? If it was going to be any article of clothing, that would be it.
The real question is, will
hmm
this be better or worse than the Ashton Kutcher not stoner comedy, Do Where's My Car?
I feel like it's painfully obvious if it's better or not.
Interesting. I do have, before we get into it, I do have one quote
Okay.
from Seth Green, who starred as Mick, one of the dead zombie friends of the actor who played the voice of Casper.
Yes. Him or Stan in the Eminem video.
Yes, or Stan in the Eminem video.
hmm
So he had a quote about filming the movie, about the experience of filming Idle Hands. This movie came out in 1999. The quote was from 2007.
Okay.
He says, "The best thing about that movie was that everybody working on it had a different mission statement. We all thought we were making a different movie. Me and the boys," so the other actors, talking about the guy from the Mighty Ducks movies, and the voice of Casper.
hmm
We were convinced we were making a high school or a high drama, like a stoner drama with some comedic elements,
hmm
and we tried to make our relationship as lifelong best friends believable. The director was attempting to make a throwback Italian horror film. Have you ever seen the movie that Heathers?
Yes.
The writers really wanted to be the next Heathers.
Okay.
Um, the studio really wanted the zombies, the two guys, to be cuter and have more wacky antics. And apparently, all the kids in the audience thought that there should be more pot smoking. That pot should save the day. And somewhere, somehow, Jessica Alba, who was in this movie as well, needed to get her top ripped off,
Oh,
which is where the ending came from.
right.
So that kind of sums up the movie. It was a lot of people wanting a lot of different things.
It did have a lot of. I thought it had a lot of elements that you sort of mentioned that it did pretty well. I can see where you're coming from with some of those. It makes sense.
Well, it wasn't me. It was Seth Green who said this stuff.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting that your name isn't Seth Green.
I thought Seth Green was the best part of the movie.
You thought he was the best part of the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
He
his
had
acting or what?
just his, he had maybe one or two lines that I thought were almost funny.
Okay. I'm getting the sense that maybe you didn't like this movie very much.
I'm getting the sense that you like this movie more than you should have.
Well, if I were to sum this movie up in one word, I would say good. I thought it was good. Did you not?
No, I did not think it was good.
Really? That's surprising. When I was watching it, I thought, man, Josh is going to love this.
It it was ridiculous.
It sure was.
But I guess that's what makes it good in your eyes.
It was ridiculous, but I never thought, okay, maybe it did a few times. Like sometimes I can think of specifically that it went a little too silly, I suppose. But I thought most of the time it was like towing the line perfectly of like
Maybe
over the top, but also funny.
Maybe I just didn't like the main actor.
He was great.
Okay. Well, this was your movie, so this makes a lot of sense.
Well, no, I feel like I picked Ghost Rider, and that thing was a piece of junk. And I picked Dude, Where's My Car? That was the worst movie I've ever seen.
Okay. True. What other movies did you pick that were bad? We don't have to get into that. Okay, well, I'm happy that you enjoyed it.
I'm shocked you didn't.
N-
Like, what did you think of, like, we have horror movie roots, I suppose you could say, in terms of our friendship. What did you think of, like, the horror elements of the movie?
After 48 episodes, 47 episodes, I guess, 48 movies, you being shocked that I didn't like this one seems very surprising.
I genuinely thought you would love this movie.
The Hand,
Uh-huh.
not that I liked it, but it was the same hand as In the Addams Family, a movie I believe you just said that you watched, or you watched the sequel.
Yeah. Adam's Family Values.
Um,
Same hand actor?
Same hand actor, yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Apparently he's a magician.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know. I guess I get into so we just watched Do the Right Thing last week.
Mm-hmm.
So going from like a serious movie to this movie, maybe it's a bit jarring for me, and I can't, like yourself, separate the two.
Okay.
So like watching a movie about a guy who, for no reason at all, has a hand that kills people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a part of the movie that was a bit of a problem, in that it didn't really explain, like, how this started. It just started and never explained why. So yes, you're right.
Yeah.
That part was a little bit strange. But I mean, I
Cool
wasn't
dog,
really
though.
like, man, I really wish they've included the origin story of this hand.
It would have made the movie better.
I mean, obviously, it's not a perfect movie. It has its problems, but I still thought it was good. I thought it, for 1999, I thought it held up stupendously.
Okay. Well, I'm happy that that we can have differing opinions.
Mm-hmm.
For this one, how did you like the cameos from Hot Band of 1999, The Offspring, and Tom DeLonge from Blink 182?
Well, I noticed the guy from The Offspring for sure.
Well, because they were the band.
Yes. Well, I mean, I knew who that was. I'm like, oh yeah, that's The Offspring. The Blink 182 guy, I did not realize was in it. Kyle Gass was in this. I didn't know that.
Yeah, him and Tom DeLonge worked at the Burger Shack or whatever it's called. Okay. Burger Jungle or whatever.
I never even noticed that.
This is Jessica Alba's first horror film.
Yeah.
Hard to call it a horror film.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horror comedy. None of it was like scary, but I mean, it was gory.
I've never actually said the lead character's name out loud. I've just seen it written down. Is it Devon Sawa?
Yeah. That's it. That's the actor's name.
Yeah, it's the actor's name.
Yeah.
Anton,
yeah.
Anton Tobias, two first name guy.
Mm-hmm.
Canadian actor from Vancouver. Obviously he's Casper, the voice of Casper. He chose this movie, or he chose movies that showed him like smoking more marijuana, because he didn't want to be typecast in like his like teen heartthrob roles.
Right.
He wanted to be a bad boy.
Oh yeah, he's a bad boy, all right.
And then he also said that between 2004 and 2009, which is 5 to 10 years after the movie, he drank a lot until going sober after meeting his wife in Vancouver.
That's a fun fact.
His last movie was in 2022 called Gasoline Alley.
Everyone knows it.
Well, Bruce Willis and Luke Wilson's in it.
Oh, okay. See, he's still doing big things then.
Did you hear about Bruce Willis?
Yes, I did hear about Bruce Willis.
Sad.
It is.
We'll have to watch the last Die Hard or something.
Maybe.
Okay, Idle Hands. Deep sigh. Yeah. Okay.
Like,
It was fun, I guess, but like
of
as a
course it was.
movie, this okay. So maybe my problem here then is you having this movie. This movie's going to be. I have a feeling higher than it should be for you, but then you didn't like Dude, Where's My Card? I thought those were two. These are two similar movies.
Oh my
Just
God.
one's
How
a
dare
horror,
you?
and one's just two guys trying to find their car.
No. How dare you? No, this one was genuinely funny. Did you not? You didn't think it was funny, like when he was, remember when he like threw his cat out the window and then he had to go get it back, and like he was like stumbling over the porch and like ringing the doorbell. You didn't think that was funny? Like,
No, I didn't think it was funny. I will say though that there are some like gore elements that I thought were good.
yeah,
Um, like the microwaved hand part, I thought was good.
Mhm.
The devil girl, the girl who for that day, her death was fun. The way they did like death, or like even at the beginning of the movie when the parents are sucked under or the mom is sucked under the bed, and it just shows her getting like the blood coming out, like the deaths that we don't see. I thought they did well.
Yes.
Saved them some money.
Yes.
Other than that, no. The only funny parts, like Seth Green was head and shoulders above the rest of the cast in funny, and he wasn't even that funny.
I don't know. I thought he was good. And his like possessed hand acting, if you want to call it like that. Like, have you seen the Evil Dead movies?
Yeah.
Well, it was like, I assume it was a bit of a nod to those with the whole possessed hand and cutting it off thing. But I thought he did it well. I thought, yeah, his hand could be possessed.
Yeah, he was good at clutching his wrist for sure.
Okay. I don't know. I think you went into this with the wrong headspace, man.
I went into it with an open eyes.
I went into it thinking it was going to be a terrible movie. This is going to be a terrible movie, and I've had a track record of just bad movies, and it just surprised me. And like,
Seth Green putting the head back on the other guy was good too. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're naming a lot of good things, aren't you?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
I mean, there were some problems. I mean, obviously, Jessica Alba, her acting wasn't very good, and neither was the whole thing with Vivica A. Fox. Like the priestess or whatever the heck she was supposed to be.
Oh yes, I do.
Yep. Yeah, that part was pretty stupid. That whole she was her acting was terrible, and it just wasn't a very interesting plot line, I suppose. But I just thought Anton was very good. He was like, I thought he killed it.
Okay, maybe when the hand was in the puppet, that was okay.
That was like funny too. Yeah. It was like there was a couple times where I like laughed because it was like, this is ridiculous, but it was like funny at the same time.
Okay, yeah, I didn't like Anton. So maybe that. I mean, he was like in the whole movie, so.
Yeah, I didn't find him abrasive. I mean, not everything he did was hilarious or perfect, but I thought, he played, I guess, crazed pretty well, and it was funny, I thought.
Devin, if you're listening, it's not personal.
I'm your biggest fan, Devin.
Didn't like the character. Please follow and listen to our other episodes.
And I also liked I mean, I myself am not a pot smoker, and I would say in general, um, marijuana comedy, it's not really my thing. But in this, I thought it was like didn't like overtake the whole movie, and it was like, yeah, it was like, wasn't offensive. I just thought it was like, yeah, I mean, stoner comedy, sure. I don't know. I feel like it's just like, it's like, oh yeah, being a stoner, it has to be like a huge identity to this movie but I just didn't think that happened really.
The scalping of the lead singer was cool too, I guess.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, they just keep coming. You just keep thinking of them. And Gino back there couldn't agree more. That's not Gino.
Oh, wrong cat, but that's okay.
Yeah. I could tell that wasn't Gino. Just couldn't remember the name of the other one.
Well, I have 2 other cats, but that's fine.
Oh, right. Of course.
Yeah, okay. What else did you like or not like about this movie?
Yeah, I think I kind of covered all the things I like and the parts of it that I didn't like. I thought the music was good, and I also really liked the opening title sequence. Like didn't really have much to do with the movie. It was just like kind of weird, like blood effects and like, I don't know, but it was cool.
Yeah, it's not something that I look at every time we watch movies. The beginning, just so we can comment on it.
The beginning was cool.
Anton didn't have a license during the movie, so they had to use a stunt double when driving.
Well, that's gonna lose some points for me now. Yeah, you can't do that.
I only noticed this when reading the IMDb page, but I guess they had a lot of deleted scenes that played a role in other scenes that they did. So there are a few, like when Anton kills the 2 police officers.
Yeah.
Penub shouts out "Go Go Buffalo," which is a reference to a deleted scene. And then Jessica Alba is apparently playing like a guitar in the background in one scene, which is a reference to another deleted scene.
Oh.
So, editing.
Yeah, you can't be perfect.
This movie was delayed because of the Columbine massacre.
Oh.
Because this film, he obviously kills a bunch of people. So
right.
Not with a gun though. So.
No, he. There's someone shoots a gun. Oh, the police officer like shoots Penub like in the head, right?
Oh, right, when he's already dead though. So. All right. Well, if you have nothing else, I guess we could get to your high scores.
Yeah, let's do it.
We normally start with acting, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, how about I start with acting, because I know it's going to be a less score than yours.
Okay.
So obviously you loved Anton. I didn't like Anton. Seth Green just seemed more natural than everybody else. He just head and shoulders above everybody. Jessica Alba, not good. She's developing her skills as an actress, I guess. Who else? Randy. Randy was an interesting guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like Jonathan Taylor Thomas, but I know he wasn't Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Right.
But like everybody else, they were maybe on the C to C plus category. We'll give Seth Green a B. So that's normally around like 60% divided by 2 is 30%. We'll give acting a 3.5 out of 10.
Okay. I'm not sure why you divided by 2 there. I think just to get it closer to your score.
Yeah. Basically, I was trying to just because I knew what my score was going to be, so I had to.
I see. Okay. 3.5. Huh? Well, it's not like my score is like leagues higher than that. I thought Anton, the character of Anton, played by Devon Sawa, he was very good. If I were to give, he was good. If I were to give him a grade, like you have done, like a B plus or an A minus, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then Seth Green was good. Yep, like a B. And I liked Penub, played by Eldon Henson. I thought he was good too.
One half of the Bash Brothers.
One half the Bash Brothers, of course, from the Mighty Ducks movies. And obviously, Jessica Alba's performance was pretty bad. And so, same like what I said, Vivica A. Fox, not good. But I mean, the lead actor, in my opinion, did a good job. So for acting, if I were to take it all for one score, I would have to give it a 5. I mean, I know that's not an amazing score, especially how much I said I liked Devon's performance. But I mean, he was the best, and then there was a lot of like average, and then some bad performances. So 5.
Okay, what about ending?
The whole like scene in the automotive shop, I guess you want to call it. That's the ending, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember if there was like a little scene after that.
Well, they were in the hospital.
Right. Okay. Now I remember. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was kind of, like you said, with the puppet, and like the hand being in the puppet. I thought that was kind of funny. And I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of like tension. It was supposed to be like a what's going to happen sort of thing, but it didn't really work. Especially since like Jessica Alba was like the center of it, and she was just not doing well. So it was obviously very over the top, which I kind of appreciated. I liked that the movie was a bit over the top because I thought it was like done fairly well. It wasn't like I wasn't rolling my eyes or anything like that. So I think my ending is probably the same as my acting, a 5.
Okay. I guess you have to give credit, or credit is due. This movie was always gonna be solved by marijuana,
Right,
and that's
of course.
exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
On point for the movie. They used that. I guess he uses that giant carburetor bong. I can't believe I just said that out loud. We just did. We just did, the big Spike Lee movie last week. But the bong, he blows into it, and that's how the evil hand is vanquished. So because of that, I guess my score is a little higher than I originally had it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they're in the hospital room, they're now guardian angels for some reason. The message on the ceiling, it all comes back, all circles back to the beginning of the movie, which I respect. So I gave it a 4.5 out of 10.
Nice. That's a good score.
Now I'll go first for my score out of 10 because yours is going to be so much higher.
Okay.
Overall, everybody listening already knows my feelings about this movie. So I'm just going to say it out loud. I give the movie a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
There was some good, there was some bad. Well, no, there was some bad, and there was some 4 to 10.
Okay. My score is not like ridiculously higher than that, honestly. I mean, I liked the main actor. I thought the movie was funny at some parts, and I liked the horror elements. I thought that was done pretty well. In terms of like a horror comedy, I mean, I can't say I've seen a ton of them, but I guess the ones I have seen, they do tend to be like a little too silly. But I don't think that this really did that. I mean, it did get a little ridiculous at times, but it wasn't like, I wasn't rolling my eyes, or I wasn't like, man, this is really stupid. And also, like I said, stoner comedy is not really my thing, but I didn't really feel like it took the front seat. I mean, it was there, but it wasn't like all that was going on. Yeah, a little bit of acting issues, but overall, like, really fun. So I gave it a 6 out of 10. I would recommend this.
To who?
I'd recommend it to really anyone. It holds up, in my opinion. Worth a watch.
Okay, so you're over at your parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
You're having a wonderful meal. It's somebody's birthday, say, and they're like, okay, what should we do next? And you're like, well, I have a great movie that I would love to recommend. And they're like, oh, I would love to hear it. How many Academy Awards did it win? And you're like, don't be silly. It's Idle Hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I gave it a 6 out of 10.
It would be more like, hey, are you in the mood for like just kind of like a fun movie that's from the 90s? It's like, I mean, you'll be able to tell it's from the 90s, but you'll be surprised at how well it holds up. And just like, you're not in like a serious mood, you just kind of want like a fun movie, you should watch this.
We've done 8 movies so far this year. This is the third time you've rated a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Do you think this movie is as good as Spice World?
Yes. 100%.
Interesting.
100%.
Interesting. Let me just pull up some more information. You only, out of all the movies that we watched last year, you only rated 2 with a 6 out of 10. So you already have broken that record. Both movies were my movies. You probably didn't like Palm Springs and Don't Worry, Darling, so I'm not even going to ask. Did you like this movie better than The Batman? Apparently you did.
What did I give The Batman?
5.5.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll be honest, I don't remember The Batman very well. I just remember the parts that, I remember the parts that I liked. The live action, like the action sequences were kind of cool.
I guess there really is no rhyme or reason why we give scores. It's just kind of, you know.
I feel like all my scores, if I compare 2 movies that both got a 7, I would say, oh yeah, those are about the same. Or if I compare a movie that got an 8 with one that got a 6, I'd be like, yeah, that movie's clearly better than that one. I think this movie is exactly as good as Spice World. Totally.
Okay, great. That was Idle Hands, which I suppose is a great name for a movie that is that.
It gets the point for saying the name of the movie in the movie.
Like, pretty early, wasn't it?
Not fairly.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah, good. I have a feeling the next week's movie is going to be rated even lower than Idle Hands.
I would like to point out quickly, because we didn't mention it, the Rotten Tomatoes score for that movie was 15%, which makes absolutely no sense to me. That is not a 15% movie.
I've been noticing more and more that Rotten Tomatoes scores are ridiculous. Like, okay, for example, I've watched, well, not me and you, but me and, we watched 3 movies since, not including this one, since our last recording.
Wow.
Have you heard of the movie Megan that just came out?
Yeah.
We watched that movie, which I thought was pretty good. It has a 94% Rotten Tomatoes score.
So you clearly didn't think it was a 94% movie.
No. I give that movie a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
That was a 70%er for sure. 94 is ridiculous. Still, a decent movie, but it's not a 94.
Right.
You yawning?
No, definitely not.
You clearly bored with. We watched a second movie, a 2022 movie called Sick, which is kind of like it's an American slasher film, so it takes part mostly in a house.
Sounds like it's bad.
It it was the best movie we watched this weekend, but it's about, like, it takes place in the pandemic, like it's April 2020.
Okay.
So it, and I'm not going to ruin it for you because you should maybe go watch it. But it takes place in the pandemic, and there's the pandemic fears that we all remember from 2020. It had an 86% Rotten Tomato score.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 7.4 out of 10, so close.
Okay.
And then the third movie was a movie called Alice well, no, because Alice Darling, Anna Kendrick, great actress, Anna Kendrick. It was pretty close to the Rotten Tomato score. So this example that I'm giving isn't very good, but there's been a lot of examples of it being just totally unwarranted.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Well, I think this is one of them. So you were talking about the movie that you think is going to be worse than this.
Yeah, I watched a trailer for it right before we started recording, and it looks like a lot. Super Mario Brothers from 1992.
Oh, right.
Talked about this for weeks now. I can't wait to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks insane.
Yes.
But I'm excited. There's probably a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I've always meant to watch it. I mean, it's a good timing. Topical.
Dennis Hopper's Bowser, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, should be good. Another. I feel like it's not going to be a 6 out of 10 movie.
Probably
the Rotten Tomato
not.
score is better than 15% though. I think it's in the 20s.
Okay. Yeah, that is more than 15%. Yeah, only time will tell.
29%.
Every time I rent a movie from the video store, like I've said, the video guy always says something about the movie I rent. I don't think he remembers me, because every time he's like, yeah, he definitely doesn't recognize me, but he goes, "Have you seen this movie?" And I go, "No." And then he proceeds to tell me about it. And for Idle Hands, he said, "It was a really fun movie. I remember. I watched it in theaters when it came out. It was a lot of fun." That's what he said.
It's surprising that he wouldn't remember you.
It is a little.
It can't be like a lot of people going in and out of that place.
There's always at least, 2 or 3 people in there when I go.
That's insane. How are they doing? Maybe because they're like the only one.
Yeah. Usually that's like older people in there, holding on to the past. But, yeah, like for Ghost Rider, when I got that, he said, "Yeah, this is a steaming pile of garbage. Good luck." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And I mean, he was right.
Steaming, yeah, the keyword. Just so you know, Super Mario Brothers from 1993. It's 104 minutes long, rated PG, in the fantasy genre, and it is available at Pick a Flick Video.
Thank you. Thank you for looking that up. I like that. It's a good online database they have. It's very easy to know if they have it or not.
Have you joined the community?
No, I don't know what that means. Is that like following them on Instagram or something?
I don't know. It just says join the community, and I click on it, and it's sign up for our email newsletter.
No, I'm not signed up for the newsletter.
Support this endangered library. Oh, you can donate. The shop is owned and run by local Kent Bendall. Kent
Yeah.
Bendall. Is Kent the one that's giving you all these recommendations?
I would have to assume. I mean, it's been him every time.
Maybe you can look him up on Facebook. Little Facebook lookup here on Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
which I think we said. I was going to go into this podcast and call you my special guest and just see if that got you upset, and then you just be upset the whole time. I think that's what we kind of need.
You need me to be upset the whole time?
Just to kind of give like a different flavor. Yeah. He looks familiar. I don't know why.
He's got a beard and short hair and kind of like dark eyes, like his bag, like he's got sort of dark bags under his eyes.
Yeah, it's him for sure.
Yep.
He's in a band, I think. The Pooh Bells.
It's my favorite band.
Victoria Band. Oh, maybe he's just a guest. Maybe just, well, hard to say. Anyways, listen to the band. Go to Pick a Flick, support them. Support our podcast. No money, just
listen.
Likes or
downloads. I mean, a lot of people say, I've heard that they just listen to this as kind of like a peaceful thing to put on, sort of low key. So
go to sleep too.
Yeah, like, the chill vibes to study to or whatever. It's like chill podcast to sleep to.
Yeah, because I guess we pick pretty like random movies sometimes, and nobody's gonna listen. Like nobody will have seen Idle Hands. Nobody's gonna watch it and then listen to our podcast.
Well, I mean, I mentioned the movie at work, and lots of people have seen it. Well, I wouldn't say lots, but a good handful of people have seen it.
So I'm the weird one.
Well, sometimes we watch movies like Dr. Otto and the Gloom Beam.
The Riddle of the Gloom Beam.
The Riddle of the Gloom Beam.
One of the best movies of 2022.
Yeah, that's a movie that no one has seen.
I should do another weird movie like that.
If you really want to.
Only starring, what's his face?
Jim Varney.
Yeah, Jim Varney. I can't think of names or people right now.
All you see all day long is names. People you deliver the mail to.
True. And there are some. Okay, that brings up a fun little story I have. So I take the bus to work. And so I'm looking. How I don't know when the last time you were on a bus was, but they have advertisements. At the top, like inside the bus.
Yeah.
They have like bars of advertisements. And so I see this advertisement for like a law firm. And I'm like, why does that name, like, it's like three names in a law firm.
Right.
And there's this guy in the law firm. He's the first name. I'm like, why does that name sound so familiar? Because I deliver to him every day. I know exactly where he lives.
Yeah, you could. There's an idea if you ever need some sort of legal advice. You just like hang out outside his house.
And there's a pretty well-known, at least I've heard of him, real estate agent. You see his name on real estate signs sometimes. I know exactly where he lives too, on my route. And they don't live that close to each other. But
so what's the address?
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, of course.
And then so on the last route I did, a director, like a TV director. He lived on that route, and he used to get like Netflix and Amazon Prime, and all these studios would send him like award season stuff. So like he had to, they would send like DVDs of a movie,
right?
Screeners. He got a bunch of those, so I delivered those to him. Let's see. Let me see if I can remember what was his name. I can't remember his name. Dang. So a while ago. Or what TV shows he but it's like a well-known TV show, Canadian.
Okay.
Anyways, it doesn't matter.
That's kind of fun.
I feel like when you deliver in a in a rich environment such as Oak Bay,
Mm-hmm.
you get some people who can afford to live there.
Yeah. Some well-known people.
So many doctors.
Yeah.
Every house has a doctor and a dog. It's weird.
Like like there's doctors and they're in houses. Does Dr. House live in any of those?
No.
Okay.
But so I deliver a lot of mail that have the name doctor before the name. So I'm thinking that it's probably pretty easy to put doctor on your mail.
Probably. So I wonder how many of those people like aren't actually doctors.
Could be a good chunk of them.
Yeah, so that they can impress the one person who looks at their mail that isn't them. So, wow, the mail! I really got to impress the mailman.
Yeah, but then he'll like go on his famous podcast and talk about it.
That's true. That's true. Very famous podcast. Your Mother Ain't My Dog. I'm Jesse and he's Josh. They know it. You could say that to them and say, "Welcome back to another episode of Your Mother Ain't My Dog," and then you point at them. With those knowing eyes. It's like, come on, you know the next part, and they'll finish it for you.
I wonder how much a bus ad would be. We could do a bus ad for the podcast. BC Transit advertising.
It seems like a great idea.
I'm not gonna bore you with this.
We're already past the 50-minute mark. Somehow, this movie, Idle Hands, this is like one of our longer episodes.
And we had no plan.
No plan, no notes.
No plan, no follow of the week, no fancy trivia games, just real talk.
Real idle hand talk.
It doesn't give me any information about advertisement, or at least the price.
How do you write?
Ooh.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, it's just like, how much does it cost to advertise at a bus stop?
Mm-hmm.
So it's apparently between $150 and $600 for a small to medium-sized market, which is not Victoria, or $3,000 to $6,500 for high-income areas per 4-week period.
I don't know if that's in the budget.
Bus interior ads. Okay, here we go. $20 to $125 per display per 4-week period. It's a little better.
A little more affordable.
But you'd be on like one random bus.
So we'll just pick a UVic route and you'll reach the masses.
True story. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I don't remember.
Nah.
Well,
we were talking about buses and advertising, famous Oak Bay people.
It's completely gone.
Show Dr. House. Well, I guess it's just called House. But
it's called House, but no, it's gone, man.
Well, what could have been Idle Hands being a long episode. Mm-hmm. Super Mario Brothers.
Nope. It's not coming back to me.
All right. Well, on that note.
Oh, I thought I just remembered.
Okay.
Because what this episode needs is more length. How do you go about writing the description of the episode, like on Spotify? You just remember what we talked about, or?
Yeah. So I normally do it. Well, sometimes I do the night of, but mostly probably the morning after. You know, we're engaged, so I just remember what we talked about. Sometimes we talk about. Plus, I need to put in like buzzwords, like Super Bowl,
right? Or
famous people. Do we talk about anybody famous? Oh, Jessica Alba would be in it, I guess.
Yep. Lionel Messi, Michael Jordan.
Right. We talk sports. But yeah, I just kind of ramble.
Okay. I'm just curious.
We'll edit that out.
Oh, yeah. Just edit that whole thing out of there.
Rival podcasts.
Yeah. We don't want to give away the industry secrets.
All right. Look out for a bus ad near you. Let us know if you see it. Take a picture. Upload it to Instagram.com. Take us in it.
Yeah. And we'll send you a nice prize.
A used hoodie.
a used unwanted hoodie.
All right, Jesse, a pleasure as always.
Of course. Yep.
Meow.
Meow. Meow. Meow.
Okay, bye.
Bye.